Hey,
What's up, Off?
hey, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Yourself?
Good, man. What have you been up to?
Just waiting to talk to you, brother. I like that throwback Rams jacket you got
Yeah,
on there.
yeah. I figured I'd get a good outfit on for the pod.
Those jerseys and the color scheme that they had back then, I feel like were way better than what they have now. The team is a lot better back then too than it is
Yeah.
now.
Well, I think what they have now is like a play on a retro throwback to, what the greatest show on turf wore. I think it was a lot of that, and now it's just kind of like building off of that, but they're doing it a little bit too much. But I don't fuck with the Rams anymore. You
I
know?
don't either.
Yeah, you're a Chiefs guy, right?
I wouldn't even call myself a Chiefs fan. When I was living in that area, I would root for them by default just because
Right.
might as well. If anybody's going to win, might as well be the town and the city that I'm living in. But
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Chiefs guy.
Yeah, I can't say I am either. But I put some money down for them to win the Super Bowl in like what was it, November, because I was like, all right, don't want to see them win, but if they do, I'll win some money with it. So that actually ended up working out for me pretty well.
Huh. Have you been getting into sports betting?
No, sir. I did a few years ago, but it's really just a black hole, and you never win. There's a reason the casinos are so big and elegant. It just doesn't work out. So I try to refrain from it as much as I can. What about yourself?
I've done the FanDuel thing before where you pick a couple guys on Sunday or whatever, but I've never actually bet on a game to Chiefs are going to win by
Okay.
whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely gotten into that. The just betting, for betting spreads, money line, anything like that. A little bit of player prop action, got into that too. But I know what you're talking about, the FanDuel. So you're like building a team like a fantasy team, right? And then
Pretty
the
much.
number one, like the top 100 teams win a profit, right?
Yeah. Get a couple bucks.
Yeah, the weird thing, I think that's legal in Missouri, which sports gambling is not legal in Missouri, but for some reason that's accessible like on the mobile phone. You can do that for some reason. I don't know how that works, but some weird laws around that.
The laws in general right now, I feel like are super weird. I feel like in 50 years or maybe 100 years, people are going to look back at this time and think that there was some really weird and crazy shit that we were doing.
What laws we thinking?
Hmm. I think marijuana being illegal is something that people are going to look back on as like the prohibition for alcohol. Um,
Well, you think
so
back
I,
50 years from now, like what was legal, what wasn't legal, what was normal back then. I mean, if you had talked about smoking weed 50 years ago, it was like you're going to hell if you had sex, you were going to hell. If you were gambling, you were a scumbag. You were like connected with organized crime if you had anything to do with that.
yeah, it feels to me like it's a pendulum. Like it swings one way. Same with politics too. Swings one way, then the rebound to that just goes completely the opposite direction. Everything's
Yeah.
kind of been over exaggeration in their response to whatever's going on at the moment.
I'm not sure how they landed on the moon 50 years ago. I mean,
That's
you couldn't even get
okay.
on the internet. The internet wasn't even a thing, and they were on the moon.
And why haven't they gone back? That's the big
See, I
point
didn't
that
know if
people
they
make,
had or
right?
not. I didn't want to say it. I didn't know off the top of my head if they did or not. So I feel like they should
Hmm.
have by now.
I don't. Maybe nothing's up there, and it's just a big chunk of rock with literally nothing to do. So why go back?
Somebody goes up there and they're just like, "Yeah, this isn't the fucking move, guys. We gotta go. This is lame. Uh, there's no girls up here. We gotta go back home. This sucks." I'd probably rather. Would you rather get stranded in space or get lost at sea like 20,000 leagues under the sea?
Mm. I feel like your chances of surviving either are extremely low.
Yes.
Mm. I don't know. Doesn't being under the sea crush you once you
Yeah, I
get to a
think your
certain point?
I think your eyeballs pop out of your skull and your ears start shooting out blood. So
And
that
what's
might
the alternative? What happens when you're in space?
I don't know. I think you like either one, you probably have like 90 seconds to live. So I don't really know what the argument is here. Space, I mean, you can't really go anywhere. Everything's 400,000 years away, right? Which how do you measure that? like a distance with years. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you think
20
we'll ever get to human civilization on Mars or even further?
Dude, I don't fucking know, man. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out. Like sometimes I just drive around, and I look at a building, and I'm like, how is that a thing? How did they build that? I have no idea what it takes to build a building. And now they're talking about living on a different planet. Uh, I think about how I get my food. I just drive to a store and it's just there, and then I give this fake thing that's called money, and they give me food, and I live off of it. And it's like, so I just would want to go start a completely different civilization. People are talking about that and colonizing Mars. Dude, I got no idea. I'm just driving down the street to Schnucks and getting some food.
I lost my debit card the other day, and it gave me so much anxiety. Like, oh my God, my little plastic card thing that is pretty much the access to my whole life here. It's just weird. Like, we literally have little ID cards that have so much value, just a piece of plastic.
Well, God forbid if you lose your credit card, you're basically losing your identity, right? So if somebody could steal your credit card, go spend $1,000, and then they'd be like, "Oh, Ty, what are you doing? You're spending all this money here in New Jersey buying TVs," and then you're like, "No, that wasn't me," and then like, "Okay, never mind." So it's like, could I just give my credit card to somebody, give them a list, and say, "Hey, all right, I need surround speakers, I need a new TV, and then in 2 days I'll cancel it and we'll be good." Like, do people do that? Is that fraud? I think.
I don't know. I had a situation not that long ago where someone ordered McDonald's on my card, like $40 McDonald's charge, and I had no idea what it was, who did it.
I do.
And I did the same.
I know who it was. It was Josh Hitt. I can guarantee it was Josh Hitt. That son of a bitch. You probably owed him money for McChickens from 2013, 2012, and he has a list. I'm on that list, and he just took the money out of your account. So you're square with him now. You're good to go.
I think he just has a spreadsheet of different people's cards that he's using and taking like small transactions from each people.
Until he's completely squared away. He's just surviving off that. He's got no money right now. No, I'm joking. Josh is doing very well.
Good for Josh.
So where are you living nowadays?
I just got down to New Mexico on Sunday.
How was that?
So far, so good. It's actually really beautiful. It's hot, but it's not like Missouri, super dry, humid heat. You can actually walk outside in it, and I kind of like to just keep it moving and explore different places. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because you were just in Montana, weren't you?
Yeah, was there for the past 6 months.
Wow, that's wild, dude. I've been in St. Louis ever since high school, so not really traveling around a whole lot.
That fits you though. I feel like St. Louis is where you belong.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't know if not sure what the next move will be, but keep an open mind.
Yeah, I mean, you're the biggest supporter of St. Louis sports, potentially of all time.
Yeah, until I moved up here, and then it's like people that actually grew up around the teams, and they went to games, and they went to, they ran into players here, and they live next to this player there, and I'm like, yeah, I just watch them on TV a lot. I guess I don't have any cool stories like that, but
you don't have any sports stories, like you've never ran into somebody or had an interaction at a game or something. Surely you do.
Right here, right there. See that hat right there? That's signed by Albert Pujols. I got that last year. Went to a game, sitting 3 rows behind the dugout. It was his last year. It was Curtin Cole in St. Louis. He wasn't playing a whole lot. This is before the All-Star break, so he didn't really turn it up too much. But still, he's the best right-handed hitter of all time. I'm sitting back there. People are yelling at him the entire game. Finally, this lady runs up there with a baby. Albert, sign this for my kid. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And she stands up. And she's like, "Oh my God, I don't have a pen. Does anybody have one?" I brought a pen. And I go, "I do." And then I stand up and she's like, "Okay, come here." And I was like, "Only if you have him sign my hat too." So I hand her the hat and she's like, "All right." She goes down there. He's like reaching through the netting, signing. I think she was signing her baby's forehead, just writing his name on her, and I think they got it tattooed later. But she's got my hat. And then I just inched down there. I was like, I got to go. So I just walked down there. I'm right behind him. And I grabbed the hat from him and I handed it to him. And he's like, oh, I was signing your hat too? And I was like, yeah. And then I grabbed my phone and I started taking selfies. And he's like, oh, are we doing a selfie too? And I said, yeah. So I got a picture here somewhere. That was cool running into him. Another story that I got. No, this won't really. Here's a picture of me and Albert. Not really too good quality, but
Nice. No, I got you.
yeah, I was just freaking out there. But also, I was a valet whenever I first moved up here. It recently shut down a couple of years ago. It was Mike Shannon's Steak and Seafood downtown, right by Busch Stadium. I was valeting there, and I don't know why, but the guy that was running the place was like, never let anybody see you eat. So whenever you eat, go hide behind these bushes. So like you would literally be in the corner, crunch behind these bushes, and I would always get Jimmy John's because they would like deliver on bike. So I got a Jimmy John's friggin' 12-inch tuna sandwich, and I'm crouched down behind a bush, like in a full valet uniform, eating a sandwich, and it's just like going everywhere. Because you take a bite of a Jimmy John's sandwich and meat shoots one way, then you bite shoots the other. And so I'm doing that, crouched down, then I see this guy throwing mulch at the front window, and he's hammered, carrying his briefcase. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go fight a homeless guy. I run up there and I'm like, hey, I got this tuna all over my face. I'm like, hey, cut the shit. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. You know, I'm 19. This is a full grown man. We're having a briefcase. And I look at the briefcase and it has St. Louis Rams logo on it, right? And then I look at him a little bit more and I was like, holy shit, that's Gregg Williams. He was defensive coordinator at the time. And he's like,
no way.
He's like, I'm married to Mike Shannon's daughter. I know him really well. He won't care. And then I turn around and like the head chef has got the door open for him, like, hey, get in here. And they're like, Bryan, you didn't say anything to him. And I was like, no, I told him he was cool. Don't worry about it. And then he got in there, and after he was leaving, I was like, hey, man, sorry about that earlier. I was like, I just can't have people throwing mulch at the window. He's like, oh, I don't give a shit, man. It's all good. And I was like, hey, the Rams going to win this week? He was like, fuck no. See you later.
He seems like that kind of guy. He was the BountyGate, wasn't he?
Yep, BountyGate. He was putting hits out on people to, I don't know if it was take out their knees or just knock them out of the game or what it was, but that's pretty scummy.
So why was he throwing mulch at the – I feel like that's something – was he on PCP or something?
He might have been. I didn't ask, but what it was, the people that he was trying to get their attention, they were sitting like right in the glass so you could see into the restaurant really well. And they were sitting like right there, and he's just posing this mulch at him, just full force. And I'm like, I'm sitting there eating that sandwich. I'm like, God damn it. So I was like, somebody just noticed him and come get him. And then finally it kept going on. And I was like, I got to go say something to him. And then I realized that he was, kind of famous. And then I felt really bad. And the hostess lady was like, he comes in here all the time. How do you not know him? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, you didn't say anything bad to him. I was like, no, I just told him to cut the shit and get the hell out of here. And they're like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't tell. And I was like, dude, he's hammered. He doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a BountyGate guy. He was also, I think he was a head coach of the XFL DC Defenders this year. Throwing Samoan, Jordan Ta'amu. They lost in the championship, but they beat us a bunch. They're the best team.
Oh, the Battlehawks made it to the championship?
No, they didn't. They didn't even make the playoffs, even though they had the third best record. I don't know. The whole scheduling and tournament was all messed up. It doesn't make any sense, but you still got to support the team. Those games were very fun. Went to a couple this year. Every single home game that the Battlehawks had set an XFL attendance record. Every single one. It was, I think the lowest one was 33,000 people.
Dang, that's good numbers.
Well, compared to, you'd have like, I don't know, the San Antonio Brahmas, and they draw like 5,000 people to a home game. And then they'd be playing at like a high school field. They'd be in Max Creek playing, and they got nobody out there.
That's funny. I had a buddy who went from Missouri State football and was talking about trying out for the XFL. And he said it was a big scam that
Really?
They basically had tryouts where they were charging people $250. You can come and do this combine or tryout or some shit. And they let it go on for like 10 minutes and then just sent everybody home.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought The Rock was running a legit organization there.
I don't know. The Rock should play. That would make the XFL do some numbers. The
I
Rock
mean,
plays tight end.
dude, I mean, he is in shape to do that. Even at like the first game or something, whenever he was announcing everything, he went out there with a cut off jersey, and I mean, he was busting out of the seams on it. It was crazy.
How do you think people get that jacked? Like, do you have to work out for 16 hours a day and just take monstrous amounts of steroids?
So I think about that because I think me and you both are, we both like to work out, stay in shape, played sports forever. And it's like, you see people like that. And it's like, okay, let me look at a picture of them whenever they were 12, 13. It's like, did they have a physique like that? Let's look at their dad, maybe. Do they have some natural genetics built into that? Okay, that'll help out. But then at the same time, The Rock's 50. Like, he looks better now than he did whenever he was 25 in WWF. Like, he's leaner now than he was then. So I think he's the type of guy, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this online, that he wakes up at like 4:30 and works out till like 9, and then he does work where he just, typecast actor. He puts on a safari shirt, some low cut shorts, and then raises his eyebrow a few times, then makes $1 billion, and then he works out the rest of the day. So I think that's what it is. Also, doesn't he eat like 20 pounds of hamburger a day or something?
I have no idea, but you were talking about what pisses you off. We can
Yes.
get into that because
Yes.
while we're on the topic of eating, have you seen anything of the Liver King where he talks about eating like 2 pounds of raw testicles? That pisses me off. That
Ty,
guy is
I'm an early adopter of Liver King. So before he had social media, I was buying his supplements because I thought
no
it was
way.
yeah, I was buying the Liver King capsules, the liver capsules. You can 2019, I was buying them, and I was reading his blog online about these blue light glasses that he wears. They're just like if your dad was out weed eating, it's like glasses that like he's like, I watch TV in these. So I literally bought some, and I thought they were doing something for like a couple of years. And then I started watching TV without them, and I was like, I don't feel any different. So I just look like a jackass for the last 3 years wearing these every time I was looking at TV. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Liver King?
Well, the video that I saw of him recently is you saying no silverware at all. You have to use your fingers as he's eating like a giant chunk of ribs. And he has his girlfriend next to him who's doing the same thing. And of course, he's trying to sell some shit, but I don't know. It's a crazy marketing ploy for sure.
It is, and that's kind of what happens in the fitness industry, right? Like you see somebody with a crazy physique, and then it's like, oh, they're doing something crazy different. That's why it's working. But it's like in reality, what was it like 2 months ago? That More Plates, More Dates guy on YouTube brought out a bunch of receipts and showed that Liver King's been taking steroids forever. And so now Liver King is saying he's Liver King 2.0. And on his Instagram story every day, he updates like day 90 of Liver King 2.0 steroid free. And he's lost like 20 pounds. He's getting a lot leaner, but I mean, I think he's in his mid 40s and he looks like that. He's still taking something. It's not eating a cow's balls. It's not eating a cow's ass. Like he's on steroids still.
Bro, what do you think it feels like to take steroids for that long and then come off of it?
Shit, I don't know. I mean, it's gotta feel terrible, right? Like you gotta go from being able to train all the time, not getting sore, not getting like fatigued, and just being like, wow, I'm old, my back hurts, everything hurts. Like I don't know, I'm 26 and I feel like I'm already getting there.
We're at a weird age because it's like we're kind of looking at our youth in the rear view mirror, but we're like in that gap where we maybe have a little bit left in the tank, but it's gonna start going downhill pretty
Right.
quick.
Yeah, definitely pretty quick, but at the same time, you're like, I still feel like I'm young, but the birth date, the age doesn't say that. Cause like whenever you're 16 or 15, you're like, oh dude, whenever I'm 20, 22, I'll have all my shit together. And then 26 rolls around and you're like, what the fuck is going on? I got no idea. And you're still trying to figure it out, but you still feel healthy, still feel young. And then I think, what is it, the prime for, average males is like, I thought it was like up to 30 because you got, you're smart because you got experience, but your body's starting to decline just a little bit. Am I wrong there? I thought that was a thing.
Mhm. I'm sure it is. I feel more capable and knowledgeable now about just life in general than I did back then, even if I was in better shape or faster or stronger.
Yeah.
So I would personally take a couple years of wisdom over youth.
Yeah. I would say exact same thing. I think one thing that like as soon as we got out of high school, I feel like we were so programmed to have a set schedule every single day, and we were so disciplined to go to class, get out of school, do sports or whatever. And then it's like as soon as we got out and then we went to college, it was like you can not go, nobody gives a shit, or you can go and you can have a disciplined day, but nobody is there to hold you accountable except yourself. I think that really shocked my system at first. So I was like, I don't want to do anything. I want to party and do whatever. And then whenever you do that a couple times, you wake up on a Tuesday morning, you got like a 10 o'clock, history 101 class. I was going to community college. And it was like, it does not matter if you go or not. So you're like, oh my God, my life is pointless. I need to figure something out. So I think finding some drive, some goal in life was really important there. I don't know how the hell I got to that point, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's, and I don't feel like the education system really primes people to go out and figure out something that they're passionate about and figure out how to make money off of it. I feel like that's a huge struggle for a lot of people. And I'm still 26 years old, like, okay, starting to slowly come around to maybe this is an idea of what I enjoy and am passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like you get kind of pigeonholed into, going to college, obviously, but not only just going to college, but picking what you would want to do after college. And it's like some things are so broad. Like I went to school for marketing. I work in the financial services world now, but I had no idea. I was just like, marketing sounds easy. Let's do that. And that's what millions of people do, right? Like just want to skate through and not really specify what the hell's going on because you just don't know at 18. And like still now, it's like, who knows what I'm actually passionate about. I think it was actually your dad that asked me one time, like, if you had one like dream job that you could do, what would it be? I was like, probably like shortstop for the Cardinals, but that's not a legit possibility right now. So other than that, I don't really know, man. I think that gave me some perspective. I was like, what do I really love to do?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough question to find an answer to. But if you were to take everything that you know right now and go back in time, let's say to when you're, let's just plop you at 15. If you could take what you know now and go back to then, what would you do? Maybe do differently or apply to yourself?
Wow. Are we talking about like what I would tell you myself not to do? Or would I say like, you know, maybe study a little harder, something like that?
Either or, just anything.
Yeah. Probably say, don't touch the K2. Nobody ever had fun on that, right? That was the worst stuff. Stay away from that. Maybe I don't know, maybe get into, woodworking,
Mm.
building canoes or something, starting a career in that. Maybe start a, I have no idea actually. I don't know what I would tell myself.
But did you have a bad experience with K2? I don't think I even really know what that is.
I think everybody did back in the day. You're lying if you didn't say you didn't have a great experience on it.
So what happened to you? What was your experience with it?
I think you just try it, and you know, I think that was the bath salts, right? So it was like making people eat each other's faces, and I think at 15 you try it, and then you're like, wow, your whole body's just like pulsating, just like vibrating, and everything's like very very tunnel vision. I think I thought I was dying for a little bit,
Mm.
and other than that, so now it's like I'm not a pot guy. A lot of people want me to try, not try, but smoke pot with them. And it's like, listen, I've been there. tried that enough. Oh man, it's not the right strain for you. You just got to smoke this. It's a sativa. It's in the couch. And I'm like, dude, listen, I've smoked enough pot. I'm just not wired that way. Some people aren't wired that way. Dude, I get a whiff of somebody smoking weed now, and it's like, I'll start walking in a circle. I'll be like, hey guys, I gotta go take a shit. I gotta get out of here. I'll just make something up because it just freaks me out because it makes me feel bad. Got an anxious brain, and I think, pot isn't the solve all for that, but at the same time, neither's drinking.
No.
Neither's drinking. And, there's a lot of people that, are subject to, I don't know, a preemptive mental disorders, and they smoke a lot of weed, and then they start feeling like shit and they start going crazy. And it's like, oh man, pot's not doing this for me. I got to keep smoking. No, dude, that's not good for you. Lay off all that. So, I don't know. I think I'm just anxious, and it doesn't really help me. It doesn't adverse effect. If I've been around some of my close friends, if they were to, you were to ask them about that, they'd tell you, yeah, he just kind of freaks out.
It's a rabbit hole drug for sure. I don't know if you've heard of, was it Delta 8 or Delta 9 or something?
Yeah, and like kratom.
I've had horrible, like you were saying, thought I was about to die from that, full on laying in my bed, like, okay, I am lifting out of my body and I'm about to just go. It was fucking terrible.
And that's all completely legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sold at like dispensaries nowadays.
If you can get it at a gas station, like just super cheap smoke shop.
That's what it was back in the day, right? So our high school, as soon as we were able to drive right, they outlawed people smoking pot, and then you had to take a drug test, right? So that was the big thing of why people started buying K2, because they sell it at BP gas station out in Osage Beach. So it was just like at the counter, it was like catnip or like home spice. You light it, if somebody takes a nasty shit and it smells bad in the bathroom, you light that, and apparently it's supposed to get rid of the smell. But what everybody was doing was buying, you could buy like 3 grams for $20 at the gas station. You didn't even have to be 18 either. And you could go home and smoke it and then just get out of your mind and then go run around in your front yard until your heart rate goes under 200 beats per minute. Then you calm down, and then you try not to wake your parents up to drive you to the hospital. And then you wake up in the morning, you guys all look at each other like, hey, let's do that again tonight, until somebody has a mental break and then says, guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm done hanging out with you. So I think that was the game that I was playing, probably, a little too young, but I'm glad I figured all that shit out early, because, rather do it then than, get in trouble, maybe, drinking and driving or doing some crazy shit like that. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Man, when I think back to those years of our lives and everything that could have potentially gone wrong with what we were doing, like I remember at your house, there just being in your attic 20 dudes. Like you were always hosting people. People were always coming in and out. It's a surprise that no bad shit really did come from anything.
Yeah, very, very fortunate for that. And it's just like, you don't even know it at the time, though. You're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about, oh my God, I hope my parents have no idea what's going on up here. I hope.
You're having a kegger upstairs.
Yeah.
They have no idea what's going on.
I just got no clue, but I don't know. That was the best feeling, though, because, I was on my home turf. I didn't ever have to go anywhere. So I was always like at peace with that. But at the same time, it was just like, I hope nobody does any dumb shit. And then you hear about people driving home and, not even old enough to drink yet. And how reckless that was, and how much you hear about that going on nowadays. And now I think like, oh my God, how could anybody do that? But people were doing it then. And I don't know. It's just crazy to think about that. Nothing terrible ever came of that. So that's always good to think about. You got any other stuff that's been pissing you off lately?
Have you messed with the Snapchat like AI thing up top? That thing.
That my AI guy, I haven't. I keep denying it, hoping he goes away, but he keeps popping up. I know you've been messing with him, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What have you been saying to him?
You can kind of like, I want to bully it into saying like something funny. I don't know. And if you get inappropriate, with it, it'll make you stop and say this isn't a proper topic of conversation.
Really?
And that pisses me off. Like, why? This is a two-way conversation. No one else is going to see it. We should be able to talk about shitting our pants or whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's say I shit my pants. That sounds like a tough situation. You should find a restroom and clean up as soon as possible. That's what it says.
Where do we go from here? Let's try to get it boxed into a corner.
I had the next thing that I was going to say that pisses me off is that was at work today, and some people were walking in with me, and it's like people that are at work and they're on their phone the entire time. They're walking around, like, and they're talking to somebody else during work hours. It's like, who the fuck are you talking to? Doesn't anybody have a job anymore? You guys just talking about? They were talking about dinner last night, pork tacos, fish tacos, chicken tacos. The most pointless conversation. And I'm not doing anything on my phone either. I'm not doing any like real work, but I'm like, hey, shut the hell up. Like we got to at least act like we're working here. But that kind of pissed me off. Another thing I was thinking about that used to really piss me off was you would get on Omegle and the guys would be jerking off. It's like every guy was jerking off, wasn't he?
Why would they do that? Because you're mostly just flipping through dudes and you're just maybe hoping like a 1 in 200 chance that some poor girl is going to be on there and they just see your dick.
Yeah. Or you'd be talking to a guy and it's like completely normal. And then he takes a camera, right, pulls it down real quick and it's his dick. And it's like, oh, you got me. I thought you were different, but no, you were jerking off too.
That was a crazy website because you could go on there and literally just have a conversation with anybody. Didn't matter where in the world they were, what they were doing. You'd see some crazy shit.
Yeah, you would see some. And then there used to be this guy I knew that was able to put up a filter that made our screen look like a woman. So you could like be a cute girl at the time and you could go on and talk to a guy and then make it seem like, oh, hey, I'm a girl, look at me. And then the guy would be like, oh, hey, you're so cute. And then you could mess with them and do that. But sometimes the buddy that you'd be with would be taking it a little bit too far and be like, haha, show me your dick. And then you're like, whoa, dude, we don't want to see that. That pissed me off too. The guy that always took it a little bit too far. You know what I'm talking about. You got that friend too.
We were probably 13 talking to full-on 50-year-old pedophiles.
Yeah. They, the internet, I don't know, there's a lot of Wild West stuff going on still. Even like with Reddit, I feel like there's a lot of wild shit on there. I don't know. 4chan, I don't know what that is, but I have some tech friendly guys that talk about that. Apparently that's wild.
I can remember, I think it was a Reddit page, but it was the title of the page was People Dying. And you could scroll through there and just see people meeting the end of their life in all these different ways, like a crane falling on somebody. One that I remember super vividly is it looked like they were in a field in maybe South America, and this dude's getting held down, and some guy's just cutting his throat with a dull knife, and you're just watching as he starts to bleed out.
Do you still think about that video after you saw it?
I don't think about it like day to day, holy shit, but it's one of the wildest things I've seen on the internet for sure.
Yeah. It's like every time there's a mass shooting, I get on Twitter and I'm like, all right, don't look it up. And then I'm like, I got to see this video. Yeah. And then there's a video, I see the video and then my stomach drops and I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
But people want to see it. All those videos, like you're not just going to not click on it.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate clickbait.
Yeah. It's like fucking Adam and Eve, right? Don't eat this apple. I think I'm going to, actually. Sounds pretty good.
I'm imagining like a BuzzFeed headline or something. It's like 13-year-old kid gets destroyed by trans.
Isn't that like a Pornhub title?
13-year-old kid gets owned by a school shooter.
Oh man, yeah. Suburban white boy gets posed. All right, that's fucked up. That's
wow,
bad.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
shit. I mean, I feel like nobody has a real like heart on the internet either because it's an invisible screen, right? So they're not going to see who's actually talking shit. And I think that kind of goes both ways because that makes some really funny stuff too. Like meme
Oh
accounts,
yeah.
burner accounts are hilarious. Hey, I know a thing or two about making a fake account too.
Do you?
Well,
Way back.
way back. I think that was freshman year. Freshman with the old football guy.
Yep. Yep. Man, you are one of the most influential people to like our group of people that we grew up with. I feel like you just set the trends, you set the lingo and like literally the language that people used. You're always posting people at your house. You're kind of just a leadership guy. Even when we were kids, you were that way.
Wow, it's one of the nicer things anybody's ever said to me, and I'm glad that you could see that too, because I've had a vision that I've never really thought about, and I think that summed it up perfectly.
What do you mean?
I think I've always wanted to, get everybody together and have a good time and do shit like that, but I've never really figured out why. But I'm always thinking I just want to be always doing stuff. And, I feel like getting people together too is a great way to, like, some of the funniest moments come together just with like a bunch of random people. Like if you get a bunch of random people together, somebody says something, somebody mishears it, somebody tries to repeat it, and then it's fucking way off. And then somebody goes, "What are you talking about?" That's like one of the funniest moments you could ever have. And I think that doesn't happen unless you're like, all right, everybody come over. Let's hang out. Let's see what happens. Let's get a couple beers and just improv from there. So the lingo, I don't know, that kind of just came out of the blue. I think that's exactly what happened with what I just said. Like you mishear something, because that all began in middle school, right? In English class. We had a teacher at the time whose breath smelled really, really bad. And somebody said something like, she was like, "Oh, Miss Smith smells really bad." And then she got really angry at me because I started making everybody laugh. And she said, "Bryan, you're gonna go to the office." She would write my face on top of my desk like that. And I said something to her like, "Your breath smells like cat piss." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Your breath smells really good." And then it just kind of went from there and, created its own life of itself. Now, I don't even know, what's going on with it, but, it'll always be out there.
That was insane. Like you're just a funny guy. If there's anybody that I could pinpoint that could do stand-up comedy, I feel like you're doing that in some alternate universe.
That would alternate universe would be cool. I feel like it's very be very intimidating. It's really hard too. I feel like if you get in front of a group of people and have to remember like punchlines and everything. I'd love to give it a shot one time. I've never tried it. I don't know. I'd love to try it just to fail and learn from that. But I watch a lot of it online. Have you ever watched Kill Tony?
Yeah, great show.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like you see some people that go up there and just bomb.
Yeah.
It's like, who knows if you have like good material, but also you don't know what's going to happen whenever you get up there in front of people.
Well, even the ones that suck and they do completely bomb, it's still funny in its own way.
Right. Especially if you're just like a normal, cool dude. Like if you just, have fun with it and you're like, "Hey, yeah, I suck." Like laugh at me, make fun of yourself a little bit. You can go from there.
Well, it makes me think, what is it about something that is actually funny? Like when you break it down, it's like the timing, being and saying something super unexpected. It's just weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of intangibles there, right? Like the timing. Also, that's something like people, are shying away from it now in today's society, but like offensive stuff is funny. People love stuff that's offensive, and there's obviously a line to be drawn if it's being, just completely distasteful and like hateful directly towards somebody. But if you're just like pointing out a flaw of something that is obvious and everybody recognizes it, but people don't want to say it, isn't that comedy? Like the one kid in the class that, he'll fart in the back of class and everybody starts laughing. It's like, you're not supposed to fart, but that's funny. That's like the most primal type of comedy. And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of intangibles with something of how it's funny. Like you said, a lot of elements that go into it.
One thing, are you a South Park guy?
Oh yeah.
I believe it's the guys that made that. And they're talking about either everything has to be allowed to be made fun of or nothing. Like, how can we say that one thing? Yeah, we can certainly make fun of this, but this other thing over here, okay, no, that's off limits.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Also, like with that, like, is there a timeline that has to, happen before you can make fun of something like a tragedy, because there's so many jokes about, everything nowadays, every tragedy that's happened. I'm not going to name one or the other, but it seems like you can either make fun of it the next day, or what do you wait 6 months, or what do you wait a year? Where's the line there? And it's also like, you also need to be able to laugh at something, right? Because everybody's going to have hard times in their life. And I think if you take a look at people that particularly suffer from the most like trauma, like people that are police officers or soldiers, in the military, they always have like a really fucked up sense of humor. And it just seems like a way to cope with all that stuff that they go through on a day-to-day basis. And that's what everybody's kind of doing whenever they're laughing at stuff. But some people seem to get angry at not even at jokes directed towards them or what they stand for, but more towards somebody else in their group. And it's the other people that are in the group are like, hey, it doesn't offend me at all. I don't know why you're getting so angry.
That's the weirdest type of person. I don't want to say social justice warrior, but the people who are offended about something that isn't directly offensive to them. Why?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Right. I mean, it's not you. I mean, I can understand if you be like, hey, they said this about you. Are you going to get angry about it? And that just makes it weird too. Like, are you expecting me to get angry? You want me to be angry for you, even though you're not a part of our group? I mean, if somebody takes something offensive, they're going to take it offensive. That's up to them, and they can deal with that. But I don't know. Everybody gets offended by different shit.
It's weird that getting outraged is like the default. No, like happiness and just calm, quiet. That doesn't sell. That doesn't get clicks. It's outrage culture.
Yeah.
What brings people's eyes.
I mean, yeah, just confrontation, right? Like everybody just wants to see two people yelling at each other, going at each other's throats. I mean, what was it? The 2016 election. That was a prime example of that. I mean, it was just like, Donnie was dropping the "you'd be in jail" on Hillary. Hillary
That
was
one of the best lines ever. Like
that was hard. It was hard.
We're talking about comedic and timing. Like he dropped a nuke on that.
Dude, he would kill it as a stand-up comedian. Like if he just went up there and just like looked around for a little bit and then said some stupid shit, it would be perfect. He would be so funny. I think he should try that if he if it doesn't work well for him in this next election.
Why would you want to be the president? That has
Dude, I don't know. What do you get out of it? I think the salary is like $400,000 a year, which Trump's a billionaire, right? He's had that money forever, and you get all the stress in the world. Also, he's old as shit. I mean, 77, 78. That's really old.
Yeah. Same with Biden. Before we were on here, I was just on the internet, and there's a video of him going around where he trips over something on the stage. It was kind of funny. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I just saw that was today. He was like addressing students in the Air Force. And he just fell over. And then he stood up and started pointing at something on the ground. I was like, nah. It's like, no. You've done this too much, man. We know that was all you.
If you're in the crowd there, do you start bursting out laughing?
Somebody in the background should,
That shit to me, if things were a simulation, things like that shit would happen all the time. Like, do you remember Mike Pence, the fly landing on his head?
Yeah.
Like, that can't be a coincidence. That shit's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like, what is it, like the first episode of South Park where the aliens abduct them and they're like, it's a show and we're ending it. It's like, oh, the ratings aren't doing that good for Earth, so we're going to cancel Earth. They were going to blow up the universe, but they ended up getting through with it and convinced the aliens to keep them. Maybe that's what we're going through. We are the simulation.
I don't know anything. I mean, I truly do not know anything.
But see,
I,
that's a good mindset to have, right? Because whenever you get stuck and you're like, no, I don't need to listen to anybody else, you stop learning. But if you listen to everybody and you're like, maybe I don't know everything, maybe I don't know anything about anything, and then you continue to learn, I feel like that's a better mindset to have than, oh no, I've got everything figured out. I don't need to listen to anybody.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I just got this book the other day that's pretty much about that you keep your brain healthy and you can actually get smarter and increase your intelligence by continually being open to new ideas and exposing yourself to new concepts where you have to put two and two together.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe is that why older people play like Sudoku and like, little games like that and like a book?
I guess. I think those people just didn't have cell phones.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty fucking boring.
Yeah, just give those people in a retirement home TikTok. They'll be good.
Dude, I worked at a retirement home for about 2 months. Whenever I was up here going to school, it was awful. But what I took away from it is it's basically like a college dormitory, but they don't go to class and they all have a bunch of money and they're all old. Like there's people there that are fucking, there's cliques, there's girls that won't hang out with other girls. There's guys that talk shit on other guys. I mean, they meet for lunch, breakfast, dinner, they drink, they get messed up, they golf, they play tennis. And like I said, they're all banging too. Like there was couples banging. It was wild. Also, people are dying at the same time too. So it's like, all right, you could bang this guy, next day he's getting wheeled out on a stretcher, dead. That's why I quit. Some guy just got wheeled out on a stretcher, like right in front of me. I had to hold the door for him. And they're like, oh, he passed out. And then the next day they're like, no, he died. So I just texted my boss the next day. I was like, hey, I'm done. See you later, bud. Blocked his number and just didn't show back up. And then they tried to call me from like 5 different numbers. I kept answering. I'm like, hello? And then he's like, Bryan, where? I hang up on him real quick. And I was like, dude, you pay me $8 an hour. You don't need to call me 50 times. It's not that big of a deal.
Wow. I didn't know that. You worked at a retirement home. Did you just see that on Indeed and think, yep, this is definitely the move?
No, I had a buddy up here, a good buddy of mine that I met at UMSL. He's a Bosnian guy, and he'd been working there for like 3 years. And he was high up in the ranks there. So he was like, oh, dude, you're going to be with me. You're going to have it easy. I get there and it's like, all right, here's a walkie-talkie. Go stand in the doorway. I was like opening doors for people, like shining their shoes, just doing old people shit, right?
You're shining old people's shoes?
You'd go in and like they'd call you and be like, oh, Bryan, come up here. My TV isn't working. I'm going up there. I'm trying to fix a VHS player. And this is fucking like 2018, 2019. Like it's not that long ago. You should have a DVD player, some sort of streaming device by now. Get a Blu-ray disc or something. But, watching a lot of Will and Grace, Days of Our Lives shit, it was terrible. It was a horrible vibe. Didn't want to be there, quit. People kept dying, so blocked their number.
Yeah, you can do that now. You can quit and just cut off all contact and be gone. Like, forget the 2 weeks notice. Who has time for that anymore?
That's such a long time.
It is. If you're checked out of a job, to stick around for another 2 weeks is like, I can't.
I don't even think I was there for a month. So that's like 50% of the time I was there. If I had to work 2 more weeks, like, goddamn, I can't do that. Like doubling the time I was there. I want to tell a story I could tell real quick. I don't know if you would ever heard about this story, but I was thinking about random stuff I could tell you.
Please.
Some people have heard this story, but this is for the rest of the crowd that hasn't. So I think it was freshman year. I had a woodshop class, and you would take the bus from the high school to the LCTC, right? So I'd get bussed over in the morning. You'd have class, you get bussed back, right? So wild bunch that you'd have in any woodshop class from middle school to high school. This one was terrible. It was like everybody that you ever knew would get in trouble or, had gotten kicked out of school or got expelled. They were in that class, right? So it was like a Friday right before like a homecoming or something, middle of the, or like first semester, second quarter, something like that. It was a Friday. Everybody was getting rowdy. And I was like, all right, let's do something. Let's push the limits here. So I decided to bring a 12-pack of bottle rockets and a lighter, bring it on the bus, put it under this guy's seat. That's wild. And then be like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? And so get to school, get on the bus first, put it down, make sure the cameras weren't looking, put the lighter there, sit down, wait like 20 minutes. Everybody gets on the bus. And I'm like, dude, what'd you put under your seat? And he's like, what do you mean? He looks down, picks it up, and he's like, oh shit, dude, look at this. He acts like he's gonna light the whole thing at once. Somebody like dives over, grabs it. Dude, don't do that. And then everybody's like, oh my God, who brought fireworks? And we get there, principal's trying to figure out who did it. Everybody's blaming it on everybody else. And then end up going home. Nobody got in trouble. Then Monday, I didn't go to school. I got sick. And somebody messages me on Facebook and they're like, dude, they know the bottle rockets were you. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And, they're like, yeah, dude, you're in trouble. So as soon as I get to school on Tuesday, the principal was waiting for me, go into his office with the other kid that everybody was blaming the bottle rockets on. And they're like, Bryan, so he's telling me that you brought these bottle rockets and you planted them for him to shoot them off at people. And I was like, no, I did not do that. What the fuck? And the guy next to me starts freaking out, stands up, gets in my face. Yes, you fucking did. And I was like, whoa. I was like, hey, he's angry. I don't know if we should do this. And then he points to the principal and says, he's fucking lying. He says, all right, now calm down. Just take it easy. Let's be civil about this. And he goes, no, and fuck you too, you fucking idiot. And then after that, he goes, Bryan, you're good to go. See you later. So he got in trouble for all the bottle rockets, and I got off scot-free just because he freaked out on the principal. Moral of the story, keep it cool. Don't start yelling at your supervisor, and you could probably get away with it.
Damn. I'd never heard that one before.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you off air who it was, and you'll be like, no way. But
yeah, I need to know who that is.
You know, if that guy ever listens to it, he probably wants to kill me. Because I mean, he got kicked out of school for like a week, I think. And I don't know if the statute of limitations are, but it's been over like 10 years now. So I don't know if I can get in trouble for that.
Statute of limitations on high school suspensions.
High school suspensions.
They can still come after you, make you go to ISS.
Dude, I'm sure there's some teachers, some principals that are waiting to put me in there.
Did you get kicked out of school for anything else back in the day?
Yeah. One time I got OSS for a week and ISS for a week. It was with a gym teacher I had. I told him he was giving me a bunch of shit, and we would always, kind of bust each other's balls back and forth. But this one day we went outside. It was like February and it was kind of cold, and we're out there on the practice football field playing like kickball. And we're playing kickball and it starts to rain, and it's like 50 degrees. It's raining, and we're out there. You're wearing like the gym t-shirt and gym shorts, and it's fucking cold, and everybody's shivering. The girls were out there too. They're all like, oh my God, it's so cold. And I was like, hey, coach, we could probably go inside. It's kind of raining. And he's like, oh yeah, Bryan, are you going to melt? I said, are you going to melt and flood this whole fucking field, you fat piece of shit? And he goes, oh, what? He goes, Hoffman, go to the office right now. I just went nuclear on him. I was like, yeah, fuck you. You fucking loser. You fucking suck. You can't win a basketball game to win for your career. And then as soon as I turn around, I'm like backpedaling all the way to those doors. My shoulder, it's, the school resource officer. He's like, all right, Bryan, come with me. He just like grabs the back of my neck and just like walks me all the way to the principal's office with that. And then I get in there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And it was like a week of OSS and a week of ISS, which ISS was worse because OSS, I was 15. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. So I pretty much just stayed home. And you don't do any schoolwork then either.
Yeah.
I was like just playing Grand Theft Auto 4 all day, drinking Coke. So, that was probably the longest time I spent. I think it was a lot of freshman year that I think I got in the most trouble, but that was probably the worst just because I just lost my shit. You want to be different. You want to do something fun whenever you're young. So I think that was my avenue I went down.
I feel like if you had a good experience, you got kicked out of school at least one time.
Yeah, yeah, you got to do something like that. Because I mean, like, even at the time, I knew I was like, this isn't going to define me. This isn't the most, important thing I'll ever face. I mean, God, I hope not, going through high school, but I think it all worked out pretty well. Pretty happy with where I'm at. So probably wouldn't have done anything differently.
How could you?
What about yourself?
We talked about Josh Hayden earlier. I remember one time me and him got thrown in ISS for pissing on the bathroom walls. That was a smart decision there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be happy about hearing about you talk about that, but I remember that because that was right around baseball season, and Josh got kicked off the baseball team for that.
That's tough.
Yeah, and he had to come back and ask to play summer ball, so he had to, like, after getting kicked off the team, walk up in the middle of practice and be like, "Hey, coach, can I play on the summer ball team?" And coach like made it huge. He made it like all, dramatic. He was like, oh my God. Yes. Okay. And then Josh was like, okay. And then just left. So
sorry, Josh, if you don't want that info out there, but
he'll be all right with it.
I can remember us. I'm sitting here. He's sitting right next to me in suspension. And one of the teachers, I don't remember who it was, came up to him and was like, "Oh, Josh, you're such a good kid. Why are you in here? What did you do?" And I'm sitting next to him, trying not to laugh. And at first, he's like, "I don't really want to tell you what happened." And she's like, "No, come on, you can trust me. You can tell me." So, and the way he worded it is what made it hilarious. He's like, "I urinated all over the bathroom wall." And while he's talking, remember we had those little ID cards? And if you got in trouble, they would give you a red card.
Yeah.
And so his red card falls on the ground, like right next to me. And his face with the red card just looks so hilarious. So I started bursting out laughing.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
Yeah, you get a lot smarter in 10 years. Like, what were two people even thinking? That, yeah, this is a good idea.
I don't know, but I mean, it's a good story, and you got to go through that stuff whenever you're young, so you get out of your system, do the fun stuff, and then hopefully you calm down later on in life. Some people never do, but it's a way to do it.
Yeah, I would rather do it the way we did. Get some of those demons out of the way through the teenage years, and then sit here at 26 and be like, okay, I don't need to go figure out what K2 is like.
Yeah. I mean, you still can do it if you want. I think it's still out there. But
should we put a little disclaimer, like, do not try K2 after listening to this podcast?
If anybody does it after listening to how we described it, it's kind of on them. You know what I mean? Like we just said it was like, it makes your body pulsate and you feel like you're dying. If somebody's into that, kind of on them, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. It was also around that time, like I don't, like I said, I don't smoke pot, but the times I did, it was always like somebody would describe it with the most fucked up name in the world. Dude, this is fucking blueberry gorilla bubblegum kush from Mexico, and it got delivered here in somebody's ass crack. And then you're looking at it like it's supposed to, like it's going to be like cool to see, and it's like it looks like tobacco from a cigarette. It just looks terrible, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it, And then you don't feel anything, and then they're like, oh my God, dude, I'm so high, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, this isn't for me. So
yeah, who names those strains that they come up with? There's one I saw the other day called Green Crack, and I asked the guy about it, and he's like, yeah, it is what the name sounds like. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to try that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. Yeah.
What if it literally was like green crack, just crack that they had like dyed green or something?
Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, smoke this. It's not weed. It's actually just crack. So really good for you.
Oh man. So you're doing jujitsu now. That's what we were talking about last time.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for about 10 months now. I actually just did a competition for it last weekend and lost both matches that I was in. But great. I was very nervous, doing something like that's nerve wracking. And a lot of people train very hard, like every single day, which I try to stay diligent about going, 3 to 4 times a week. But, having a goal, and having something to strive towards, better yourself, whether that's a hobby or, just saving money, maybe a second job. I feel like that's important to me, to have something to do on top of my regular job. So I don't know. I just felt like coming home and, going and working out ran its course after a while. It's like, what are we doing this for? You want to be the best looking guy in the world. You want to have an 8-pack? No, not really. I want to get stronger. I want to be able to defend myself. So that's what led me to jujitsu. Also, I had a few buddies that were doing it at the time. So one of them was like, yeah, let's go, and I was like, all right, I'll see you there. It was like the first time I was going. And he just bailed and didn't show up. So it was just me going by myself. And I texted him after. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I knew you wouldn't go if I didn't go. So thank you to my buddy that did that. His name's Adele. He's a good guy. But yeah, it's been really good for me. Met a lot of good friends through it so far. You get a little more self-confident after, you go through, I'm a white belt, and it's like going through that, you just get your ass kicked the entire time. And you get very humble about that, because then you realize you're like, all right, I don't want to fight anybody in real life, because if it was a fight, this shit hurts. It's dangerous. What people that actually know how to fight, what they're capable of, and how nasty stuff can get if we were not on mats that are padded. So, I mean, learning grappling, learning, escapes, different chokes, just basic wrestling as well. I think that's important for, like, just to be out and be able to protect yourself, maybe protect your significant other. It's been really good for me, though. I really enjoy it.
You're a good athlete back in the day. I feel like you probably could have killed it in wrestling.
I worked with Darby, the old wrestling coach. Like, he worked at the go-kart track with me over one summer, and then the next summer for my A+ program, I was his like tutor for his one of his history classes. But that basically just meant I was doing the laundry for the wrestling team, and I would just go in there and sit in the locker room and chew and hang out, listen to music. But he would always try to get me ever since like 5th grade. He'd be like, come on, Hoffman, you got a wrestling body. Come on, let's do it. And I was like, no, it's a lot of work, man. I see you guys running around, and they got sweatshirts on, sweatpants. They're sweating it out. They're running in between classes. They would just eat like crackers throughout the day. That's it. And I was like, at the time, I didn't have the discipline to do something like that. I wish I would have. And I can't say I would have, though, because, I mean, I love baseball, and that bled into the baseball season. But I really, now looking back on it, I wasn't even completely committed to baseball in a way, I think, because I was fucking around a lot more on the side as well. Could have focused a lot harder. Something I regret, but at the same time, like, you just got to do that stuff whenever you're younger, get it out of your system. There's so many things drawing you so many directions that it's hard to zone in on, focus on one thing. And whenever you do that, that's the people that become, college athletes and people that succeed in it. But I didn't have the discipline to do something like that at the time. But wrestling would have been great. I wish I would have done it, because you see people that wrestle and then they do jujitsu, they practice, or they, transfer that over. They have such an advantage because they have that wrestling base and, the takedowns, and they just know how to use their body weight on you, how to position themselves, everything like that. And then you incorporate, some chokes, some arm bars, some different locks that they can do. It's a big leg up in the sport if you wrestle. So wish I would have done that, but at the same time, maybe not, because maybe I would have gotten tired of it and not wanted to do jujitsu, because you have done wrestling for so long. Like, I know a lot of people that did wrestling and they're just burnt out on it. It seems like they never even think about it or talk about it. So, and every time they do talk about it, it's like, God damn, that was hard. They were 16. They probably didn't want to be doing it that much, but they were in too deep at that point.
It's hard to have a vision for your life when you're that young. like now we can kind of sit here and say, yeah, I want to do this, this, and this. This is what's important to me. When you're at that age, you don't know anything. You have no idea what's going on. You're just trying to have some fun day to day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just got your license and you're just like, all right, the world is mine now. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And normally that's not something disciplined and rigid and hard. Like normally don't want to do that. But now I'm at a point in my life where it's like I need that because if not, you can go off the deep end. You can like I can do whatever I want right now. Like with I pay my own bills, do shit like that. But you gotta even all that out, right? You gotta balance it. You gotta have some fun, but you also need to be bettering yourself. You need to be, striving towards something. You don't need to be screwing off all the time. You need to be saving money. That's just the way I look at it. So I'm not really interested at this point in my life in kind of, fucking off too much anymore. So figured that, that's really been helped out with a lot of jujitsu and just a lot of trying to eat better too, because I realize the older I get, the less I can tolerate, throwing a bunch of bullshit back into my body. That is.
Yeah, it's like our bodies. In science class, you had those little beakers. You could drop stuff into it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like the same thing. Whatever we drop into there, it's going to bubble up or cause some different reaction. And then after 3 days of whatever it is, drinking, smoking, snorting, whatever, you're like, I kind of feel like shit. Well, take a look at what the last 3 days have been.
Yeah, it's like it's not fucking complicated. Look at what you just did, and that's easier said than done because some people just can't recognize, oh my God, I've been feeling so bad lately. I feel tired, fatigued, or I'm not shitting right. And it's like, well, look at your diet, look at the way you're sleeping. A lot of these things can be helped by yourself, but you just you got to take the proper steps to fix those, and a lot of people don't see that. They just want to blame something else. So
I don't know about you, but when I am in one of those situations, it's like in the back of my head, I always know when I'm fucking off, when I could be doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it's a battle. Like the hardest battles in life for me are between me and myself.
Yes. 100%, dude. I mean, and whenever you're in that moment, you're like, you kind of get pissed. You're like, why did I even, start drinking tonight? Or why did I eat this piece of cake at this workouting? Like, I'm eating it, I'm drinking it, it's going to affect me. But if you don't do that, you're going to seem a little bit awkward to everybody else. Everybody's going to be like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you eating this piece of cake? Well, I don't want to feel like shit tomorrow and just to eat cake for 30 seconds and be accepted. Like, I'll just, be awkward and be quiet, not eat that, and I'll feel better than you will tomorrow. So, so that's actually, I don't even drink anymore, dude, because of that reason. Like at one point in time, I was just feeling so shitty, waking up with bad hangovers, and I was studying for these exams at my work, and I was like, dude, this ain't even worth it, because on Sundays I'd wake up, Saturdays I wake up, you're hungover, whatever, and then I'm like, well, I got to get back to studying, but I was so hungover you couldn't even do it, right? So I just said one day, I was like, all right, I got to keep studying. I'm not going to drink this weekend. You wake up on a Sunday without a hangover. That's one of the best feelings in the world. You can get so much shit done throughout the house. You can clean, you can work out, focus on yourself. People meditate. People can do that. Read a book, whatever gets you, in your zone. I don't know. I think, kind of drinking just gets you away from really what you're just running away from a problem in a way. So if you spend more time trying to focus on that, reconcile with whatever problems you're dealing with, why wouldn't you do that rather than just pushing the problem further away and making it worse? That's the way I've been looking at it, but I really don't drink a whole lot anymore at all.
But it's tough because it's a pattern that we developed so young, and it takes a lot of mindfulness to see, oh, okay, do I want to let this continue, or will it stop now? Because if it doesn't stop now, the clock's going to keep ticking, and I'm going to be sitting here, and before I know it, I'm going to be 30, and I still have this habit. And when does it end?
Yeah, 100%. It was, well, that was like, high school and college. It was always like, what's going on this weekend? What are we doing Thursday? In school, it's like, where's the party at? What are we doing? And then it just becomes a default to your social plans, and then it just becomes a default in your brain. Okay, we're drinking this night, so we're probably not doing anything the next day. And then you kind of lose your personality, right? Like you start hanging out with people that all you have in common with is that you get fucked up together. And then if you're sober around each other, you got nothing to talk about. It's awkward. You have nothing to talk about other than the shit you've talked about whenever you're drunk, or you talk about how drunk you were last time you guys were all together. And then you're like, we kind of have a hollow relationship that's centered on boozing, right? And if we're not boozing, what are we going to do?
Yeah, those friends are tough. I have them for sure.
Yeah. And then, it goes on through time. You got them still added on Facebook or Snapchat, and you're kind of like, am I friends with him, or did we just hang out a few times and, the booze was talking. We thought we were bros, but we really don't even know what to say to each other if we saw each other in person. Like, I don't know. I think that's the weirdest type of shit, because there's so many people that you have like that. If you scroll through like Snapchat or something, you met somebody like once or twice and you're like, I don't know this guy at all.
Yeah, those are weird things to have, because at least for me, it's like I don't really want to see people from 10 years ago that I'm not friends with anymore.
Yeah. If you're hey, especially if you're not drunk, right? But if you were drunk and you ran into somebody that was also drunk that you had a class with, in high school, it'd be like, oh my God, dude, what's up? We haven't seen each other in so long. But then it's like, whenever we did see each other 10 years ago, we weren't even friends. But now that we're drunk, we can talk about this and act like we were friends. But if you're sober, it'd be like, oh my God, don't fucking look at me, dude. I don't know you. Leave me alone.
It's weird. It lowers your social inhibitions, maybe.
I think IQ as well, maybe.
What if it was a thing that like the smartest people in the world, you got that way by drinking, getting fucked up? So like if you wanted to be super smart, you just had to get blasted for like 20 years straight.
Well, that's the argument that they have with like artists, right? Every artist that came out of like classic rock, right, was always taking acid, or they were smoking weed, or a lot of musicians just on some sort of drug, even comedians, right? Some great comedy come from people doing uppers, downers, middlers, midders, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like naturally, if you have enough shit going through your brain, you can come up with whatever, whether that's art, music, or whatever. But also, I don't think it hurts if you're a musician and you smoke a little bit of weed to make some music, because some great music out there.
Yeah,
Very general point.
Like there are different ways to get that state. Everybody, if you're using a substance to create something or get a goal, like you're just trying to recreate that magic somehow, some way.
Yeah,
I feel like, because I've been around music guys a lot in Kansas City, and it's like it's a ritual.
Yeah,
and I understand it. I mean, you get a shitload of dopamine, just the explosion goes off, kind of makes your neurons fire back and forth. I'm definitely a doctor, so I know, but
when the kush hits, that kush be hitting though,
Yeah.
But how sustainable is that, right? Like if every single time you gotta, make a song or like draw something, you gotta get super high. I mean, I don't smoke, right? So it's just tough for me to think about that.
It's not sustainable at all.
Yeah. Like Wiz Khalifa does it though.
That's what's weird, is you see some people who seem like they can maybe pull it off, or maybe they're not pulling it off, and we just kind of see the engineered image of these people like Snoop Dogg or whoever it is. It's like, holy shit, every time I see you, you're smoking a blunt, but you still somehow seem to look pretty good. You're super rich.
Yeah. Yo, dude, you were low. You've been low for 20 years now. Well, Wiz Khalifa, I think he's overstayed his welcome nowadays because he kind of sucks.
Yeah. There's some people who have definitely overstayed their welcome in music. Like
Mac Miller.
He overstayed his welcome, man. What's he doing now?
Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
R.I.P. No disrespect.
But I think Eminem did for a minute there. I think he's done making music, but goddamn, some of that stuff from like the early 2010s is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm not
At a
afraid.
Wow, you just reminded me of that one.
Yeah. If you were singing that song in middle school, you were getting your ass kicked. You were
Everybody.
Yeah, you were getting the fucking swirly for sure.
Wow. At a certain point, if you're that rich and you have an established career of millions of dollars, I feel like I would just say fuck it to everything.
Yeah.
Just why? Why would I do anything? I already made it.
Yeah. But then you just get bored though. And you have that mindset to hustle. So you always want to do something.
Yeah. That shit is like a disease, truly. And I suffered from it too. I always feel like I have to be doing something, have to take advantage of this time. And if I fucking relax, then I'm gonna get behind.
Yeah. That's the what is it? What am I thinking of? Capitalistic ideology, right? Like you always got to be moving because you're going to fall behind your peers and then you want to keep going so you can stack up next to everybody else. But like in reality, who gives a fuck? You know, keeping up with the Joneses is what they used to call it back in the day.
It's a weird feeling. Like everybody thinks, well, I personally right now think life is as good as it's ever been. We're able to talk over a computer. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But I heard some guy, and this could be complete bullshit. Like I'm not trying to advocate for it at all. He said the hunter gatherers would work like 3 hours a day, just get food, and then that's all you had to do.
Is this Liver King that told you this?
Yeah, this was his. What does he call it? Like the primordial ancestors or some shit.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about that. Like everything that they were doing was to survive, right? So they were going out to hunt for food that they needed to survive, and they get food and they provide for their families, right? I couldn't imagine going out, killing something, bringing it back, and having everybody depend on you. Like that's probably a great feeling, you know? I don't know. I mean, at the same time, like being hungry fucking sucks.
Yeah, you're like 80 pounds. You haven't eaten in 2 days. You're just trying to get a squirrel.
You just never showered, never had a Tylenol in your life, sleeping on the ground.
Dude, we came from that though. Like we are those people. We're just wearing a different costume. You're wearing a St. Louis Rams shirt and not a loincloth.
Doesn't it make you feel guilty a little bit though? That it's like you hear stories about, oh, your ancestor did all this shit, and then I'm like, I'm here, I'm like sitting in my basement, like, all right, thanks, dude. I'm good now. You can keep dying. Go for it.
No, because that's gonna be us. We're gonna disappear into dust in the wind, and there's gonna be our great grandchildren who won't even know us or give a fuck about who we were. And it's just like that.
They're gonna be like, dude, my grandpa back in the day would sit in his basement in a Rams jacket with a team that didn't even exist in that city and talking to a laptop. He couldn't even time travel to his friend or fucking morph to Los Angeles and talk to him in person. Could you imagine how shitty that was?
I feel like we'll either get there and it's going to be just crazy insane, or the nuke drops and we just go back to the Stone Ages.
You know, the whole nuke dropping thing, the world's ending. We've just been hearing that our whole lives. So I feel like I'm just positioned for it. Like like one of the first things I ever remember was 9/11. It's like, okay, so the world's ending. You're telling me this at 4 years old, the world's all right. Sounds good. I'm going to go, look at my nuts in the mirror or something. I don't know. See if they're there yet.
Yeah, that is weird. We grew up hearing that basically like we're out here, we have to do this to defend our freedom, because if not, then we're all dead. Dude,
that's what I'm saying. And then what was it? 2K, there was fucking Coney. We can't forget about Coney 2012. The guy was killing everybody, wasn't he?
I wonder if he's still alive.
And then the same year, he was killing everybody. The world was supposed to end in December. Remember that? The Mayans predicted it. They said, everybody's playing way too much Temple Run. We're going to end it all.
Dude, Temple Run and Doodle Jump.
Oh, fuck yeah. What about Paper Toss?
Yep.
Paper Toss on there.
Like the iPhone 3, is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think so.
Throwing it way back.
Yeah, dude. Coney pissed me off though. I never thought, was he real? Is he still alive?
I don't know. Let's find out. What was his name? Joseph Coney?
Yeah, I think so. Not to be confused.
He has so much internet clout. That's crazy.
That documentary.
He's 62 years old.
That ain't bad. He's not even
He's
retirement
chilling.
age yet.
No, he's still out there. Where's Joseph Coney right now?
Dude,
He
you got
currently,
a tracker?
he currently he's live streaming on Twitch.
Oh, he's like, come and get me, bitch.
He has an OnlyFans.
Oh, oh, fuck, dude.
Man, I'm not gonna take up your whole night. We've been on here for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was thinking I think I'm losing my voice a little bit. So I was like, I don't know how much longer I can go.
Great to
Yeah.
see you. Thanks for catching up.
Yeah, dude, this was great. This is very fun. We should do it again sometime.
It was.
If you got any links or something, I'll share this to my Instagram and try to get some views on it.
For sure. Let's do it again.
For sure, brother. All right, man. Love you. And you take it easy.
Love you,
Good talking
brother.
to you.
You do the same. Bye, man.
Take it easy.